Hello everyone, Danny here today to talk to you about a thoroughly enjoyable book. Chris Grabenstein, I hope is how you pronounce his last name. I apologize if I got that wrong. Chris Grabenstein's book, Tilt-a-Whirl. I got this book as an Audible daily deal. Love Audible daily deals for this very reason, because this was one enjoyable read. The book is told from the viewpoint of Danny, who is a part-time police officer on the Jersey Shores. He works there during the summer months, and he is partnered with John Ceepak. John Ceepak just got out of the Army and recently was hired on to the Jersey Shores Police Department. I don't remember the name of the town anyhow, the town on the Jersey Shores, onto their police department. There's a murder. There is a kidnapping, an investigation that follows, some fun twists and turns. And the book has a very fun, whimsical feel to it. Even though the crimes involve murder, child kidnapping, and child molestation, the author still manages to keep a very fun, whimsical feel to it. It does, once or twice, dip a little bit into the dark side, but it's very nicely done because you're going along with this fun, almost carnival feel. I mean, it's set in this beach town with a carnival, and it has almost a carnival feel to the book. And then all of a sudden, bam, down into the darkness. It's not a dive off the high dive. It's just a short dip into the darkness and then back out. And then a little bit later, both times that I felt like it took the dip into the darkness, it was when John Ceepak is reliving a moment from his past. He's got some demons from his past that he's dealing with it, kind of make up who he is. There was one thing about the book, though, that really did bug the crap out of me. And it's not the language. There is a lot of swearing in this book. It's not the language at all. I Googled the author and cannot see, from what I could find online, anywhere where the author served in the military. And it shows up in this book. John Ceepak spent 12 years in the Army. And yet, when he tells his military time, here's a quick lesson for all the civilians who weren't in the military. I'm a Marine. Marines know the difference between their numbers and their letters, between our alphabet system and our numerical system. Now, say 9 a.m. for you civilians. In military time, it's written with an O, a 9, an O, and an O. And I did that hopefully backwards so it will show up correctly on the screen there. That was my goal there. Those aren't actually O's, though. They're zeros. So you don't say 0900. You say 0900. Now, who knows? Maybe that's just a Marine Corps thing. I was in the Marine Corps. I was not in the Army. I'm a Marine, not a soldier. Maybe it's an Army thing to say 0900. But I got some soldier friends, and I'm willing to bet that if I checked with them, they'd know the difference between their numbers and their letters. You don't say 0900, you say 0900. And, check this out, one point in the book, he actually says 1000. Now write out 10 o'clock in military time. You've got a 1, 0, 0, 0. There's no 0 in front. It's not 1000. It's certainly not 1000. There are other things in the book. If you're looking for a book that really delves into police procedure and stuff like that, along the lines of like Carrie Bosch or, something more, this is not that book. Danny, the part-time police officer, because he's a part-time police officer, he's not allowed to carry a weapon. And yet, twice in the book, they bring him with them to a situation where they're expecting to confront a gunman. Once he goes in with a SWAT team, you send an unarmed police officer with a SWAT team into a hostage situation with an armed guy holding a gun. I really hope none of our police departments are stupid enough to do something like that for the safety of our police officers. And then another time it's just him and his partner going in to apprehend who they believe is an armed gunman. So not real big on the police procedures by any stretch at all. Still thoroughly enjoyable. The narrator does an amazing job. He even comes up with some really good Jersey accents. I love some of his voices and some of his accents. There's one of the girls in the book. Towards the end of the book, he manages to change her voice a little bit, but it fits a change in her personality. It actually belongs. The change that he makes in her voice actually belongs and kind of adds to the story. So the narrator did a great job. Love the narrator. This is definitely going into my highly recommended playlist. I have already gone on and gotten the next book in this series. I'm hoping I enjoy the next book as much as this one. There's a slight worry there because the last book that I listened to was a huge disappointment. I just finished listening to The Providence of Fire before this book, which if you watch my review on The Providence of Fire, I did not like that book. That book was dark. That book was hard. I was exhausted and wore out by the time I was done with that book. And as happens with books, when you go from a really good book to a not quite as good book, the not quite as good book can come across worse than it actually is. Or when you go from a really bad book to a much better book, that much better book can come across even better than it actually is because you're still recovering from the last book that you read, at least if you're me and if you get into your books as much as I do. So anyhow, yeah, get the book. It's don't listen to it around children. There's definitely, a lot of swearing, and there is some elements of child molestation in there, so it might traumatize some children. But other than that, it's a wonderful, fun. It left me grinning ear to ear. Can't recommend the book more. Any questions, comments, or feedback? And hey, if you're in the Army, let me know. Or if you've been in the Army, let me know. Is it an Army thing to say 0900? Did the author get that correct? Or are soldiers like Marines trained to say 0900 because it's actually a 0, not an O? If you like my channel, please subscribe and have yourself an extremely wonderful day.